Coming off Killington Peak this morning, I'm not just finishing a hike. I'm stepping into the next phase of my training. Because every mile between now and June of 2026 matters. The Continental Divide Trail is coming, and I'm building the endurance to meet it, one mountain at a time. Leaving Killington this morning felt a little bittersweet. There's something about waking up on a mountain, especially one you've worked hard to get to, that makes it hard to leave. Everything feels quieter, simpler, clearer. But that's also the rhythm of long-distance hiking. You don't stay, you move. And honestly, that's part of why I came back out here to the Appalachian Trail. Not just to hike miles, but to reconnect with that rhythm again. Because the CDT isn't going to wait for me to figure it out later. It's coming in June of 2026, and I want to meet it ready. And I have a 0.8 road walk that will take me back down to the trailhead where I have parked my car, so luckily it's all downhill. I have had a successful first hike up and back down Killington, and I had just got back to my car. I am now going to head up towards Mount Moosilauke, which is in New Hampshire, and I will come back to you when I get there and tell you what my tentative plans are, because we know my plans change a lot. From Killington, I headed north toward New Hampshire. And if you've ever driven into New Hampshire from Vermont, you know the energy shifts a little. The mountains feel bigger, a little bit more rugged, a little less forgiving. And that's exactly what I want right now. Because the CDT isn't gentle. It's exposed, it's unpredictable, and it's going to require more from me than comfort ever could. So we are going to go towards the Beaver Brook shelter. We're not going that entire way. We're going about 7/10 of a mile to the waterfall. And that will be it for today. The Appalachian Trail has a way of teaching you things that are hard to learn anywhere else. It's not just a trail, it's a training ground. You learn how to keep going when your legs are tired. You learn how to problem solve when things don't go as planned. And you learn how to be alone without feeling lonely. I've walked these miles before, but coming back to them with a purpose, preparing for the CDT, it changes how I see everything. Every climb matters a little bit more. Every decision carries a little bit more weight. I am going to say good night and see you tomorrow. It is going to be a beautiful day. I have got about a half a mile road walk here. You can see all this traffic is lined up to take the same loop trail that I'm taking today. In spite of that, it's going to be amazing today. No rain is in the forecast for the day, and partly sunny skies. So I will have some sort of view when we get to the top of Mount Moosilauke. Up next, Mount Moosilauke. This mountain sits right at the southern edge of the White Mountains, and it has a reputation, not just for its beauty, but for its wind. Moosilauke is known for wide open views and some pretty intense exposure near the summit. On a clear day, you can see for miles. On a bad day, it'll humble you quickly. And that was my experience when I was on the Appalachian Trail. Freezing temperatures, sideways rain, and ultimately, no views. This is the Moosilauke Ravine Lodge. It's a cabin complex at the base of Mount Moosilauke in the White Mountains, and it's owned and operated by Dartmouth College. So somehow I managed to get off of the Gorge Trail, and I am on the Snapper Trail. I have got to go to the summit there. Once I've reached the summit, I will be going back down on the Gorge Trail. I have made it to the junction of a lot of different things. So I came up from that way. That is the Snapper Trail. To the left, we have Moosilauke. It's 1 point, what is it? No, it's 0.9 to the summit up that way. And then we have the Glencliff Trail, which is the Appalachian Trail. It goes down that way. And that's also what goes to the North Peak. That trail goes to the South Peak. It's 0.15 miles. I'm going to sit here and try and decide, or try and wait for it to clear up a little bit. I'm optimistic. I've got a long time to wait. I've got all day. So I'm hoping to go out to South Peak. I did not go out there in 23 just because it was so terrible up here. There's a spider. And then I'm going to go to North Peak and continue the loop back around down. So my plan is to sit here and chill out for a little bit. I'm pooped. You can see my pink cheeks. And I'm going to do some water. As I climb, I'm paying attention to more than just my footing. I'm watching my mindset. How quickly do I get frustrated? How do I respond when it gets uncomfortable? Do I slow down or do I push through wisely? Because out on the CDT, there won't always be clear trail markers. There won't always be people nearby. And the decisions I make out there, they'll matter. So this, right here, this is training. Hi. Not just for my legs, but for my mind. The peak's up here somewhere. Truly. So what we got so far. I'm hopeful. I've got time. I found this little memorial plaque up here for Penn Hale, Dartmouth, 1924, who loved this mountain and made possible the purchase of scenic tracks on it for Dartmouth College, September 9th, 1966. Very nice. So this is an alpine zone. You've got very stunted trees. And the peak at this point is really sucked in. It's right over there. That's the cairn that actually marks the peak, I believe. I'm going to tuck myself down here in the trees and have a little snack and maybe make some coffee. And we'll wait and give this mountain some time to clear out. We'll see what happens. One of the things I love about mountains like Moosilauke is that they carry history with them. Back in the late 1800s, there was actually a hotel sitting right on top of this mountain, the Summit House. Imagine that for a second. Guests would travel up here, some by carriage, some by foot, just to stay overnight at the top of this mountain. It was built to give people a place to experience the views, the sunrise, the vastness of it all. But over time, harsh weather and changing times took their toll, and the hotel eventually disappeared. All that's left now is the mountain itself. And there's something about that really sticks with me. People have always been drawn to high places, not just for the view, but for the perspective. All right, I am heading back down. So I'm completing the loop at the bottom of this here. And I am tickled beyond belief because I was able to get a view from both locations. Just as I was leaving both times, the sky opened up and I got to see what I had missed previously. So that was really exciting. All right, I am going to see you likely at the bottom at the car to close out the day. I have to say, I met this amazing gal when I was up at the top of the mountain. She hikes up Mount Killington and Pico in the wintertime. carrying her skis and her boots, and then she skis down. She is pretty impressive. I cannot imagine doing that. So I just wanted to make note, and hello if you are on here and watching this. I was very pleased to meet you and happy you got to spend some time sharing your stories with me. Standing up at the summit, you feel it. The wind, the openness, the space. There's nothing blocking your view and nowhere to hide from the elements. And I think that's why places like this matter in preparation. Because when I hike the CDT, it's going to feel like this, but bigger, more remote, more exposed, more demanding, but also more beautiful than anything I can fully imagine yet. This is why I'm here, not just to revisit the Appalachian Trail, which I love, but to prepare for what's ahead. Every mile I hike right now is building something. Endurance, confidence, trust in my abilities to keep going, even when things get hard. The Continental Divide Trail is coming, June 2026, and I don't want to show up hoping I'm ready. I want to know I've done the work. So for now, I climb, I train, I prepare, one footstep at a time.